Please rise for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the silence.
At this time, we ask for citizens' input on agenda items only. You can just come up to the microphone and announce your name, please.
Good afternoon. My name's Ty Cease. I'm a resident of the county, born and raised in Northumberland County, Northumberland Borough. I'm also Teamsters representative for 3 of the contracts here in the county, the non-professionals group, professionals group, and the attorneys group. One of my concerns is item number 19. It's kind of vague to me. Now, I had a little bit more information given to me. I just want to clarify, because I do represent some part-time people within the county, employees and their attorneys. They currently get paid 70% of the full rate, and I'm asking that the commissioners consider those attorneys to at least get 70% of whatever inflationary stipend they're going to be considering today. I would also just like to comment for all the other employees of Northumberland County. I mean, I greatly appreciate you giving the $600. My other question, though, is based on the information I received, is that the maximum you can get based on the 1.5-year time period in which you're looking at?
And then let's take a quick recess to talk. I want to talk to you guys outside. Okay?
Executive session?
Executive session, yes. Frank.
Kid no more. Not that I'm a parent, but I.
Mr. Cease, did you have anything else to add?
Not at this time.
Okay, we thank you for your input, and we'll probably revisit that when we get to that number, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other citizen input on agenda items only? Okay, hearing none, a motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Commissioners' public meeting held on Tuesday, June 7th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
The question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuel bills as submitted by the county controller in the amount of $9,327,933.75 from June 4th, 2022 to June 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels bills as submitted by the Human Resource Office for payroll number 12 in the amount of $739,659.32 and payroll number 13 in the amount of $725,564.14.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Under announcements, a work session will be held on Tuesday, July 19th, 2022, beginning at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Conference Room. The next prison board meeting will be held on Wednesday, July 6, 2022 at 11 a.m. in the public meeting room at the Administration Center located at 399 Stadium Drive, Sunbury, PA. The next regular public meeting will be held on Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022 at 1 p.m. in the public meeting room at the Administration Center, 399 Stadium Drive, Sunbury, PA. A motion is needed for the Commissioners to sign the state tax equalization voucher for transfers of real estate for the months of May and June 2022 as submitted by the Assessment Office.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
A motion is needed to approve the employee status sheet list of new hires, individuals no longer employed, promotions, demotions, and transfers as item number 1 through 18.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
A motion is needed to approve the following reports as listed in the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion is needed to authorize the adjustment of the county's mileage reimbursement rate to the announcement by the IRS to increase the remainder of 2022 mileage reimbursement rate to 62.5 cents per mile effective 7/1/2022 to 12/31/2022 and its ratification.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to ratify permission to advertise the following items as listed in the agenda A through D.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to ratify the renewal of the 2022 to 2023 property and casualty insurance as presented by Purdy Insurance Agency Incorporated and submitted by Human Resource Director Joseph Piccarelli.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the grant application on behalf of the Board of Elections available through the Pennsylvania Department of State known as the 2022 Election Security Grant for $7,271.62. Ratification.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to authorize the exoneration of the county portion of real estate taxes for certain real estate properties municipally addressed 505 North Center Avenue, Sunbury, Pennsylvania, also known as Northumberland County Tax Parcel Number 052-04-007-018, and 503 North Center Avenue, Sunbury, PA, also known as Northumberland County Tax Parcel Number 052-04-007-018-A. The structures on said properties have been condemned and demolished, subject to the City of Sunbury and Chickalemmy School District likewise agreeing to exonerate their respective real estate taxes on these properties.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Motion to ratify the authorization of the Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services to purchase through the CoStars program the following vehicles: 3 2022 Ford Edges and 1 2022 Ford Escape from Sunbury Motors with Human Services Block Grant retained earning monies planned fiscal year 2022 to 2021 at a cost of $169,658. Ratification.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion to ratify the authorization for the chairperson to execute an appraisal engagement agreement with Resi Valuations Limited, Montoursville, PA, for appraisal services of 28 Patton Drive, Northumberland County, tax parcel 035-00-021-071-004, Milton, PA, and 107 Patton Drive, Northumberland County, tax parcel 035-00-021-071-002, at a cost of $7,500 for the appraisals with testimonial and preparation at an additional rate of $150 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to ratify the authorization and execution of an amendment to HVAC agreement with LTS Plumbing and Heating to include the LIHEAP Crisis Cooling Pilot Program on behalf of the Weatherization Department through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Department of Community and Economic Development with a maximum amount per job not to exceed $1,500.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the inflation adjustment essential premium pay to employees of Northumberland County.
Motion is so moved.
Second.
On the question, so let me explain what this is. We know how inflation is affecting everyone, and we know that as you go out, different people, different places can raise their prices to increase salaries for people. Of course, we have to raise taxes to do that. So we looked at some things and we came up with a inflation adjustment due to the fact of people driving to work, paying more for gas, paying more for everything, and we wanted to show our employees, that we do want to try to help. So what we have done on this motion, we will be voting whether to approve a increase of not an increase, I don't know if the word is a bonus, but an adjustment of $50 a month from July 1 of 2021 to June 30th, 2022, which would be a total of $600. That would include all full-time employees of Northumberland County. It would not include part-time, contracted employees, or elected officials. I don't know if there's any questions.
It's a statement and then a question. So when we discuss this, I understand it to be, Mr. Chairman, that there's a set amount of money within our operating budget that we're working from. Is that accurate? It's like a set amount that we had discussed.
Well,
Not the bonus itself, but the amount where this is coming from.
right,
Okay.
yes. They will come from the departments, and we will, each department's budget, and we would go back to those, and that's why we asked for an idea of how many people would be affected. The question?
My only question would be then if this utilizes it, I'm wondering if we should table it based on the question that Mr. Cease brought up, only because it's a set amount of money. So let's say we would include other categories, there's no more money to pull from. So, or do we just vote on this and then we can revisit other budgets at some other time?
I would rather see us vote on this and discuss what was brought up at another time.
I would say that too. Well, we could look at what Mr. Cease was suggesting, what he brought up, and then later we could, maybe when we're done here, we could discuss what to do with the part-time and the other entities. Okay?
And when we do start thinking about part-time, what is part-time? If someone comes in one day a week, is that part-time? How much do they get? Or 70%, as was mentioned, or where do we get to that? And I also thought this was in a way to reward our employees for being here for a whole year also. And but that's beside the point. We can vote on this, and if it doesn't pass, then it would be tabled until whenever it would be brought up again. You okay?
I don't want to table this myself. I'd like to see those employees that, I'm calling this a cost of living adjustment rather than a bonus or whatever, with the way things have gone up. But I'd rather, if we table this, it's going to, they won't get their adjustment for another month. So I'd like to see them get this money as soon as possible.
So then let's vote on it, and whether it passes or not, we can address the other issues that were brought up today at a later time.
Mr. Chairman, may I suggest rephrasing the motion to state, a motion to approve the inflation adjustment essential premium pay for full-time employees of Northumberland County at a maximum of $600.
So moved.
We'll second that.
Okay, anything on the question on that? Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion to approve a revision to the Northumberland County 2018 CDBG Professional Services Agreement between the county and CDCOG due to OBO Mount Carmel Borough abandoning its recreation and beautification project.
Moved.
Second?
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to approve a revision to the Northumberland County 2019 CDBG Professional Services Agreement between the county and CEDACOG due to Mount Carmel Borough abandoning its recreation and beautification project and Ralpho Township abandoning its Ralpho Housing Rehab Project.
So moved.
Second.
Question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to send a memorandum of understanding to the National Correctional Employees Union, Local 133, to approve to amend the existing union contract agreement to initiate a PRN work pool.
So moved.
Second.
The question?
I just want it by explanation so the press and everybody understands why it was needed. I think it's sort of obvious. We're in a state of emergency with the prison. The prison is operating with posts unfilled, which does reflect in some mandatory lockdowns to keep everyone safe. What we found through budgeting thousands of dollars for advertising and trying to get people to come and be employed with us and negotiating a slightly higher wage, et cetera, is that there are people that are willing and wanting to take the job, but even part-time, they could be subjected to mandates for overtime and unfilled posts. There are three main categories of people that I've interacted with, so have the other commissioners that are interested in working for the prison that have excellent backgrounds, such as former police officers, retired police officers, veterans, former SCI employees that are retired, federal workers that are retired, that were former corrections officers. So these folks have communicated with us that they would be happy to be employed with us, but because of retirement restrictions and other family obligations, they can take that on. So the idea is we will create a pool of individuals that cannot exceed a certain amount of hours a week. They will receive a price per hour, a wage per hour that would reflect what those do with benefits, but it would seem incentivizing to them because they don't need the benefits. They do not qualify for county benefits, pension, health benefits, or anything like that. So they're strictly to fill the gap. The PRN would only become eligible if our current members, meaning our part-time and full-time staff, do not want to take advantage of what's posted on the roster. So if they want to take advantage of a post and earn overtime or double time, then it would go to the PRN group. If we cannot fill them, then it comes back to our staff, of course, and they'd have to be mandated. So the PRN do not receive any of the benefits, nor will they receive overtime or double time, just the flat rate. And if anybody has any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer it. But it's intended to have staff at the prison and be responsive to the people that want to work there. So we're trying everything and anything because we must. So that's what this is intended to do.
Are there any questions? So we had a motion seconded. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
A motion to ratify the authorization for the chairperson to execute a claim service agreement with Excalibur Insurance Management Services, LLC, 213 Smith Street, Dunmore, PA, as the third-party administrator to investigate all claims in accordance with the Pennsylvania Workers' Compensation Act at a rate of $2,500 per month for the period of May 1st, 2022 to April 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
A motion is needed to authorize exoneration of the county portion of real estate taxes for Northumberland County tax parcels as numbered and listed in the agenda, located in Sunbury, Northumberland County, Pennsylvania, currently owned by Drive, an Economic Development Council of Governments for the period of ownership of the parcels by Drive, subject to the City of Sunbury and Shikellamy School District likewise agreeing to exonerate their respective real estate taxes on these parcels.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
A motion is needed to approve the following proclamations and awards.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, let me also, I talked to Karen about this before, and, we did an inflation adjustment earlier, and Karen knows senior citizens are one of my soft spots. And I'm really afraid for our senior citizens coming up in the winter. I know now, they don't have to drive as much because of gas, and we do help them sometimes with groceries and things. But I'm very concerned about the winter coming up and them not being able to heat their homes. It's going to be a disaster. So what the commissioners have decided to do is we're going to send a letter to all our elected state officials, federal officials, and Governor Wolf. And I'll read that letter now of what it's going to state. But we hope something can be done for the senior citizens before the fall and winter come so that they're taken care of at that time, Karen. So just real quick, this letter. The Northumberland County Commissioner urging further state and federal action to assist our senior citizens during these uncertain economic times. The effects of inflation are devastating nearly everyone in the county. This board is particularly concerned about our senior citizens who make up 20% of the population in Northumberland County. Most of these seniors are on fixed incomes or some, Social Security or something that does not go up like inflation has gone up, which cannot be increased to deal with the rising costs. Gas prices are affecting all of us. Food prices affect all of us. But we are concerned about the upcoming spikes in heating costs that are going to directly affect the aging population. Seniors will not be able to afford their heat or be comfortable in their own homes. They may have to literally choose between eating their next meal or turning on their thermostats. Seniors are the backbones of our communities. They have pioneered and came through the Industrial Revolution. They've been through major wars and fought for our freedom comfortably in their home. We take care of everyone else. Let's start taking care of those people who really deserve it, our senior citizens. This will be sent out sometime this week to all our elected officials so that hopefully they do something. So we have a first, second on the proclamation. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion is needed authorizing travel requests and attendance at the following workshops and seminars as in accordance with the county's personnel manual travel reimbursement policy, listed A through C in the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
The question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Okay, Mr. Garrigan, Solicitor's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A motion to adopt resolutions R42-22 and R45-22, resolutions to authorize the Commissioners to execute agreements known as the 2022 ARPA Local Fiscal Recovery Fund recipient agreements with the following recipients as listed below, related to the distribution of ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to adopt resolution R46-22, agreements between Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Planning Department and North Central Highway Safety Network Incorporated for execution and distribution of PennDOT grants for District 3.3-0 Community Traffic Safety Program, CTSP, and Police Traffic Services Program.
Moved.
The
Second.
question, all in favor, state aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Motion to adopt resolution R47-22, agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the named service providers as listed, numbers 1 through 31. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does their organizational contract list county employees as principals in their corporation or on their board of directors, with the exception of contracts with CSO, Controller Chris Grayson, and District Attorney Matt Alevich are members of the CSO board.
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
At this time, we'd like to call for any old business. And hearing none, we'll move on to asking for new business. Okay, and then we have a final opportunity for public input. We have some. Please just state your name at the mic.
My name is Lisa Musser.
Excuse me, Lisa, and where do you reside?
Watsontown.
Watsontown, okay, thank you.
Our agency has the enormous responsibility of protecting the most vulnerable population of this county. We assure child safety with the goal of preserving the family unit. The work of children and youth staff has always been challenging, demanding, and exhausting, both physically and mentally. However, those of us who choose to stay in this field do so because it's one of the most rewarding jobs. When COVID hit 2 years ago, it created an additional set of challenges and barriers to our already near impossible list of responsibilities. We didn't have the option to stay home. We didn't have the option to turn down referrals or create wait lists for our families in need. Our workers still needed to assure safety of children, be present in the community, and work through crisis situations, putting our own health at risk. Because of this, we often worked with a skeleton crew due to staff being positive for COVID, quarantined, or exposed. We were forced to adapt to become creative so that we could continue to provide the level of service that our children and families in this county needed. Our staff did not miss a beat. We even succeeded in this while meeting new goals of the Family Engagement Initiative and initially drastically decreased the number of children in foster care. Unfortunately, this has taken a toll on our staff, and our agency is operating with over half of our staff positions vacant. I think we're at 40% capacity. Our staff would like to express our appreciation to the commissioners for approving the inflation stipend, and we feel that this is a positive step in the right direction. We are confident that we share a vested interest with you when it comes to serving the children and families in Northumberland County. We look forward to continuing to work with you in an effort to improve the staffing concerns of our agency so we can achieve this goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
I'm Chief
Chief.
Parks. I'm the Chief of Police in Riverside Borough, and I've been to a couple meetings now, and I want to know where we're at on getting started with changing things within the criminal justice system. 2 weeks ago, I attended the work session. I was told about a meeting. I've heard nothing in 2 weeks. Been to several meetings now. And just for your information, nobody's put me up to this. This stems from issues with how I and my officers do my job. And it's coming from the county level. That's why I'm coming here.
It's okay. Chief, we actually, at a roundtable discussion, spoke about this. I did ask a question or two from the sheriff directly about the issues that you've related to us, the warrants, for example, okay? Here's some of the questions that have come that we were going to have our chief clerk get back in touch with you and ask you. What we need to evaluate, we need some numbers. We need to understand how many warrants are not being acted on coming out of where you are, okay? And what the percentage or the split is between what the county takes from that warrant and what stays in Riverside, for example, okay? Is it always the same? Is it always a 20-80% split? Is it a 50-50? We don't know. The reason that we need to have that information is because we need to consider that putting another sheriff's deputy, for example, to go do that, or paying, as has been proposed, constables to do that work. We need to be able to evaluate how much it will cost for that additional staff for what the county has to fund it. Do you understand?
I understand that.
Knowing that some goes back to you. So those are the numbers we need to know. And the chief clerk's going to be talking to both you and the sheriff to get us those numbers and the data, considering the warrants and how much would be there to get. And then I think we can have a more meaningful conversation. But it really just comes down to there's work that needs to be done, there's a cost that needs to be paid to do the work. What's the revenue and what's the split? Before we can address anything.
Right? No,
Yeah,
that's just
fair
one,
enough.
that's one aspect.
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah.
There's
As
also-
far as the court, listen, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not courtside right now and administrative side. But I can tell you, courtside, it is clogged. Children and youth can tell you that. There are cases that linger both on the criminal side, civil side, and human services side. It is both because we're catching up from COVID, and some cases are starting to move through, albeit slowly. We also have increased crime rate, like astronomical, just through the roof, okay? And we still are maintaining the staff that had that when the rates were much lower. Actually, less, because there's one less DJ, right? So we're doing what we can. My understanding is that we've asked the AOPC, or we've been evaluated by the AOPC. This is the Office of Administrative Pennsylvania Courts, okay? We sort of beg them all the time and ask, do we qualify for another judge? And of course, the answer I understand from the court administrator is, you sure do. You folks qualify for 4.5 judges, but we can't afford to give you any. So we have a full-time sort of de facto senior judge, and we do appreciate his time, but we don't have any more funding to be able to give him staff. So, this is something that I've spoke with our chief clerk and the other commissioners about, because it affects us. Even though we're not courtside, it affects us, because it leaves kids lingering that are emergency situation. It leads people to be in the prison waiting to be processed, which costs us all money. And the more people that are in there, the more we have to hire, and the more our budget gets driven downward. So it's a cycle, but what I can tell you is everybody needs to come to the table to discuss the solutions. We can't come up with them alone. We used to have the criminal management meetings. We don't have them anymore for whatever reason, where we would all get around the table and look at grants and funding and staffing and have communication. So the chief clerk is going to reach out to court administration and try to see what we could do about having those meetings get back online, because that's imperative, because the court administrator is our link between administration and court, okay, and state with budgets. So if there's a change that you think that we have the ability to make, I'm all in for listening, but alone we can't make it. Even that suggestion would require the president judge, right? So this is why we have to have a communication that's not just the three of us.
That, you just
Right.
stated exactly why I'm here.
Right.
To get this ball started. It's
Right.
got to start somewhere. Until somebody starts questioning it, it's never going to change.
Right.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to start questioning it and make things change. Get things going somewhere. Because sitting stagnant, it's gone nowhere. All it's done is pile up.
I would suggest keep coming until something's done,
Well,
until
that's-
we get something done.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
Obviously, I'm
saying-
not quitting.
We'll save a
I
seat
even
for
brought a
you.
member of council with me today.
Before I was in government, I heard something like the wheels of government move slowly or whatever. They move even slower than that, but I didn't really believe it. I thought, why is that? Why can't this one person make this one change? And it's not designed to do that. So it does take a small village of people, right?
Exactly. I know you guys can't just wave a wand and make it all
Right.
work. Until everybody gets together to hold the wand,
Right.
then it works.
Right, but we appreciate if you would get us back some answers on the numbers, that you could communicate with our chief clerk about that.
Yep, I can do that.
Maybe give him your email and contact information.
And like I said before, there is a blueprint for it.
Right.
I've spoken to Sheriff Chamberlain in Northumberland County, or
God bless-
in Columbia County.
God bless Columbia County,
And he
but,
said that, when it was a cost to put somebody on, and now they got the system up and running, and it's paid for itself.
also got another judge recently, I understand. So they're getting, they're smaller. So we need,
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
right, okay,
like I said, I was just using that as a blueprint.
right,
Granted, their system is not the exact way that's gonna work here, but there's a blueprint to copy and paste from, and then edit and change to make it fit here.
right.
But yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Are there any other public comment?
Anyone else? Okay, then we'll motion to adjourn. Thanks for coming.